again by Heart Hero.
My God! Oh my God, Thomas! Oh, there are bodies everywhere!
Wait, what? What the fuck?
What's up, everyone? Heart Hero 456 XL65 here.
He finally got his internet set back up so we can finally start recording shit together again.
Yep.
Alright, in the last episode, we helped Ren build up the courage in order to go to this art project thing. So
Our baby's growling!
yeah, so we're just going to be there for support. The next day, I take the bus into the city. It goes twice an hour, starting in the morning, passing by the front gate of Iwanako at 20 minutes past and 10 to the hour. The ride takes considerably longer than the one Nomiya gave us in his car. I slowly read a book as the bus makes its rounds through the suburbs, pausing at almost every stop to pick up someone or let someone out. Eventually we make it to the last stop at the city center. The city is fair-sized, but not too large, and it seems too quiet. Nevertheless, I enjoy the atmosphere. Despite being slightly directionally challenged, I find my way from the bus station to the gallery without too much effort, and soon I find myself staring at the big letters saying 22nd Corner. Inside, the gallery owner is intently studying a large painting hanging on the wall, a portrait of an old man. Good afternoon. Well, let me pull up the old videos just to remember who the fuck plays who.
Yeah, I don't think I played this girl.
I was like, well, let me just go and remind myself.
I know I played Dr. Eggman. Yeah. Why does this little tune remind me of All-Star for a second?
I don't know. Okay, so I think her name's Sai, right?
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, then I do play her. She turns around to look at me, and a smile of recognition spreads on her lips. Aren't you the young man from the other day? Shinichi student. Hisao, was it? That's right. Good afternoon, Mrs. Sayonji. Please, just sigh. I don't want to feel any older than I am. You know, I'm so glad that even young people show interest in art nowadays. It's so refreshing. What brings you here? Surely you aren't just on a courtesy visit, all the way from your school. Actually, I came for Ren. I was hoping to see how she's doing. Oh, is that right? Well then, you need to step back outside. You see, the LTA is actually the next door in the right down the street and up the stairwell. Just climb the stairs to the top floor. There's only one door there. You can't miss it. I give Sai my thanks, exit the gallery, and locate the door she was talking about. It leads to the dark stairwell, which reminds me of the stairs leading to the roof of the school building. Actually, I think this might be the same picture, just flipped and with darker colors. Editing Thomas, pull up a picture of that. Thank you. The stairs are steep, and even though it's only 5 floors, everything gets heavy before I reach the top. You fucking fat piece of shit. I'd probably do the same. An unassuming wooden door waits for me there. It's unlocked, so I knock and enter. So Ren gets all this space to herself, huh? Lucky. And then there's like a lone TV in the corner. The LTA is really just one big room, with the ceiling lower at one end than the other because the roof of the building is gabled. Hey Josh, what does that mean? Gabled, what does that mean?
Gabled. Gabled. It might be a type of egg, but let me think. Gabled. No, it just means constructed with a slight slope on each side.
Okay, yeah, it's under a roof. There's a huge skylight in the ceiling that acts as the main source of light for the room, bringing in sunlight that reflects off the white painted walls. I suppose it's good to use natural light for art. There isn't much in the way of interior decoration. No surprise, since the room seems to be used as storage for a while. All kinds of boxes and office furniture are scattered around the place. The room is dusty since it's not been in use for a while. I can see that someone has made some effort to clean up a little, but it's far from immaculate. Rin stands in the middle of the room with her back to me, staring at a half-painted canvas placed on an easel. Not working on it, just staring, unmoving. She wears what must be second or third hand denim overalls over the standard school uniform shirt, much like the one I'm wearing. They look pretty worn and they're covered in paint spatters. From the way they seem to be loose or tight in places, I'm guessing they weren't originally Rin's. Hi.
Hello.
Rin doesn't judge my showing up as worthy of turning around, saying maybe something more than just a mechanical reply to my greeting, smiling, anything. She keeps on doing whatever it is she's doing, probably some weird creative thing inside her head. Perhaps I should have expected as much. Still, I make another attempt at conversation. It's a pretty cool place. Big, too.
It is. Sai said I can use it as much as I like. I even have my own key.
So how's the work going? She doesn't answer for a while. I begin to wonder if she's already forgotten the question. As the clouds drift over the building, shadowing the light pouring from the skylight, the change in Rin's surroundings seem to wake her up.
I don't know. It's like a huge ball. I don't really think each side is the right one. I don't really know which side is the right one. It's really huge. The hugest thing ever. Like a mountain growing inside of me. Like I swallowed a mountain whole. Giggity. It's going to be hard, I think. Really, very hard.
Hey, phrasing.
Don't ask me how I did it. I just did it. It was hard. I just showed up to the studio and started spitting bars.
I try to listen for undercurrents of stress or uncertainty in her voice, but I don't pick up anything like that.
Why are you here?
Her tone is not as unkind as the directness of the question would make it seem. Well, you said it'd be fine if I came to visit, so here I am. I guess it's not for any real reason, but I thought you might like company or assistance or maybe some...
Hisao? Can you be quiet for about 15 minutes? Maybe 10 is enough. 5 definitely is not. You can talk afterwards. And stop staring at my ass.
Her tone is sharp, nothing like I've heard from her before. There's no command, no annoyance, no anger, but her voice pierces me all the same. Alright. The silence that falls, anxiety creeps back into my heart. I wonder if it was a mistake to come here. Murmurs of traffic filter in from outside, and I start to feel more and more uncomfortable. All my thoughts keep finding themselves returning to certain things that have been swirling relentlessly in the back of my mind for some time now. I feel like those thoughts will surface out of the tempestuous sea of my mind, whether I want it or not.
Did I do the right thing by showing up? Who am I really? And who is this Maria?
Desperate to divert my focus, I fixate on Rin's back as my mind races. I don't think I've ever studied anyone's back so intently before. Her neck hidden by her copper-colored hair, which is, again, in complete disarray. That relaxed yet rigid posture reminded me that Rin's physical appearance often tends to be as awkward as her various trains of thought. Those gaunt, delicate shoulder blades visible through the thin white fabric of her shirt. The contours of her hips curving down to her thin thighs. Pisses me off.
It pisses him off? What the fuck?
Let him explain! Rarely does she ever seem to be looking at me, whether literally or figuratively. I, on the other hand, am always watching her back, both literally and figuratively. Whenever she's painting, whenever something catches her fluttering attention, whenever I don't forcefully make her listen to me, I can't reach through her. Ren's heart is uncharted territory, dangerous waters, the blank areas on a map. The edge of the world? If I went too close, I wonder if I would fall off. What do I think of her? Sometimes she's aloof and distant and annoys me. Other times her passion for the things she thinks worthwhile shines through and that inspires me. I can't understand her. Still, I like her and consider her my friend. I suppose part of friendship is putting the oddities of people you call is putting up with the oddities of people you call friends. I have to admit, there is a lot of putting up with Rin. What does she think of me? I have no idea. Last week, I thought she might have liked me romantically, what, that kiss and all. It forced me to ponder my own feelings too. This week, I'm utterly confused. What would she do if I told her I liked her that way? I wonder if I really do. Damn, I can't even make sense of my own thoughts anymore. Must be
You like
contagious.
autistic girls, don't you, Hisao?
Even if I said things like that, would it matter? Nothing affects Rin. Nothing.
I'm done.
I find her turned around, now staring straight at me. It unnerves me. I try to remember what I were talking about before she requested a timeout. Oh, right. I just came to... I don't know.
You came to stare at my ass, didn't you? You still can't finish your sentence?
It's not that.
Fine.
She retreats from the conversation, slipping away from me once again. She doesn't return to the painting, but instead keeps looking at me with that empty poker face of hers. I wanted to...
Ren would be fucking perfect at poker, I'm not gonna lie. There are no thoughts behind those eyes.
I wanted to talk about some stuff. I've thought about a lot of things.
What things?
Like what happened last week and so on.
What happened?
I get the feeling she's playing with me. Why, I have no clue. It's not a game she's playing with my head, and I'm pretty sure she doesn't deliberately try to screw with people. Maybe it's just my own mind playing tricks on itself. Still, Ren feels like a puzzle in the form of a girl. I feel like I'm attracted to it, compelled to solve it, the overly rational part of my brain refusing to let me give up. I can't leave her alone. I never would have believed I could be this obsessive about something. Why do I hesitate so much and keep running in circles around her? I don't have to do that. I already decided what I want to say. Rin, saying her name with an intention like this makes my mouth dry, as if my subconscious is fighting against what I'm going to say next. I feel like I'm going to lock up any moment now. Rin looks up from her paint-covered toes and stops wriggling them. There isn't anyone to observe them curiously now. The hard stare of her dark green eyes seems like a portent. I like you. The lack of any reaction is like a slap to the face.
Ren, I like your face, I like your boobs, and I like your butt. What we gonna do about it?
So, oh, funnily enough, that's basically how I lost my virginity. So, I mean, I like you more than a friend.
What is more? More than like, more than I like more than love. Baby, I'ma make you mine, and I'm not giving up. Don't run away. Don't run away from the truth, cause I'm not giving up on you.
I don't know
Sorry.
what that song is.
It's from like the fucking Disney Channel movie Let It Shine. Like their last good, Disney Channel original movie.
If I can find a way to get Disney Plus to like work on this thing, do you want to watch a bunch of Disney Channel movies and review them?
That would be fucking hilarious, and
Yeah,
yes, we could do like spilling the milk.
Yeah, dude. If only they added I'm in the band, that would be great. I miss that show.
I missed that show too.
Yeah, it's not on fucking Disney Plus. Why? And then we could do Once Upon a Time and the Descendants things. I know my sister Alana, she used to be really into the Descendants, so like I could do that as like a thing to her, as like a birth. I could. Don't tell her.
It's a good concept.
No, I mean like we could review those videos and like I could give it to her as a birthday present.
Nice. All right, give me a minute. I gotta bounce. You do as much reading as possible.
All right. The slow, hesitant words coming from between her strawberry-colored lips are not the ones I was waiting to hear. Neither of those two possible answers that I'd been expecting, really. I feel myself blushing heavily, as is par for the course in this situation. My heartbeat sounds like a percussion orchestra on drugs. Rin's faux innocent inquiry feels like I'm being grilled over hot coals. You know, like romantically and
No, I'm
Rin,
back. My mama and my baby brother are driving me up the wall.
Rin turns around, giving me the cold shoulder as she returns to looking at her painting.
Oh, we get rejected?
I don't know. Or maybe it's just not the time for that, and that's why she's saying no? Because, like, she's got to worry about this whole thing, and then she'll think about it later.
Alright.
She makes a move to pick up her brush, which lies forgotten on the floor, but decides against it at the last moment.
I can't talk about that kind of thing now.
Oh, so I was right. Okay, so we're not rejected. Good. At least not entirely.
So, don't talk about that kind of thing, please. We are friends, right? So you can do that.
Silence those words leave behind is deafening. I want to say something, but my mouth refuses to move. There's no way I can retain my dignity. Rin finally picks up the brush without giving any explanation for her behavior. Maybe there was something in her voice that gave away some emotion, but I couldn't say what. Her shoulders slump melancholically as her foot works the canvas in front of her. She won't let me see her face, and I know it. Feeling the weight of my heart grow heavier, I stand up to leave, for I can't stay here any longer today.
You had some other joggers. What you do with them?
It's like I've opened Pandora's box by stepping over some line that Rin didn't want me to cross, and she had to turn me down. I walk across the squeaky floor to the door leading to the stairwell. Rin's quiet voice stops me in my tracks as I'm about to open the door.
Hisao?
My hand, still on the brass doorknob, is waiting for me to turn it or to withdraw. Yeah?
Will you come tomorrow?
Yeah. Well, that fucking hit me like a sack of bricks.
Yeah, sorry my mama and little brother being too loud in the background.
That's fine. After a night of bad sleep, I go through the day mostly on automatic. I put on my uniform mechanically, do my schoolwork mechanically, eat my lunch mechanically, reply to the teachers mechanically, and thus, when the final bell rings, I still feel as if I had just woken up. My mind feels blank and overcrowded at the same time. I can't even begin to unravel the tangle of feelings I've gotten myself into. I spend the bus trip downtown staring out the window, thinking about these things. As a result, by the time I climb the stairs to the LTA 4 floors above Sai's gallery, I'm feeling completely exhausted. Expecting awkwardness, I quietly knock on the door before entering. I spot Rin at the center of the small clear area in the room, working on a painting. She doesn't acknowledge my arrival in any way. Hi, I came, as promised. Rin snaps her head in my direction almost immediately. She's waiting for me to say something? Locks that cold green gaze of hers on me. Although I'm sure my own face can't hide my feelings, Ren's expression is as expectant and natural and neutral as always. Clouded, slightly absent-minded darkness in her eyes was like a wall standing between me and her. It was the first awkward silence between us that was truly awkward. Yesterday, both of us said something we couldn't take back, and there's no way it can be undone. I want to say something, but Rin forbade me from doing so. I can't even begin to guess what she's thinking, but I'm feeling the pressure of her lightless eyes on me, compelling me to break the silence without saying the thing I want most to say. To my horror, I find that I can't find any way to start a conversation, as if I've completely lost the ability to speak with her. Just keep working if you're in the middle of something. I'll just sit down here. Rin nods wordlessly at me and picks up the brush from the floor with the toes of her right foot. I sink into a worn-out sofa, picking up a book from my bag and opening it where I stopped last night. I can't really concentrate on it, but it's better than doing nothing. The two of us are so close to each other, together in the same room even, and yet we're both off doing our own thing as if we're miles apart. I can't help but wonder about this unnatural situation. Why had I come here? Because she asked me to do so yesterday, of course. However, it looks like there's absolutely no need for me to actually be here. It makes me feel awkward at first, but as I recall the previous silences I've quietly passed with Rin, I settle down and try to tune into the same comfortable mood I was in back then. Time stretches, then slows down. The pages of my book rustle each time I turn them. After maybe half an hour, or 1 hour at most, Rin breaks the silence to my complete surprise.
Hisao,
Yep,
are you my friend?
it's an echo of yesterday, I know it. So even Rin couldn't just push it aside from her mind. Caught off guard, I answer honestly. I don't... Yeah, of course I am. Don't worry about stuff like that, come on.
Okay.
She doesn't say anything further. I feel happy somehow. Several chapters later, I mark my spot, close the book, and put it away in my bag. Getting up from the sofa, I see that Rin's made considerable progress on her painting. I take a look at it for a bit, still not quite finished, I suppose. Looks great.
It's bad luck to comment on unfinished paintings.
After that, I quietly leave the studio and catch the bus, taking me back to school. Life settles into some vague, undefined norm. I visit Ren whenever I can, but each time is as strange as the first. It consists mainly of me watching Ren at work, or just reading a book on the couch while she works. We barely talk at all. Long, quiet evenings stretch over the last weeks of June. I sit on the couch in the LTA, listening to the quiet rustle of Ren's brush and my own heartbeat, trying to make sense of the former and forget about the latter. I'm a silent visitor in this place, a ghost. At some point, I start thinking that my presence is meaningful to Ren somehow, but never end up asking her about it. I don't bring up the forbidden topic anymore either. I try to stop thinking about it altogether. It's hard to do so, but it doesn't get any easier with the passage of time. My heart aches every time I look at that awkward figure of the girl I decided I liked, yet who refuses to acknowledge it. I still can't seem to find the right words or talk to her about anything at all, but I find quiet solace in observing her from nearby. The distance between us doesn't feel that huge when I can be close to her, even if it's like this. Ren works like a demon. There's barely a moment she is without her brush between her toes or not walking in circles around her current work progress, estimating it from every angle and distance. She seems to be completely taken over by her will to work, to change herself into the sort of artist she believes would be worthy of the trust Nomiya and Sai have placed in her. Piles of sketches, works in progress, tubes of oil paint, and brushes slowly begin to crowd the small LTA. Atelier? I've been pronouncing it wrong this whole time. Adelaide? Hold on.
You know I'm like a ghost, sometimes I have to fade. And it hurts me that I have to be this way. You say it's gone cold, I say you'll do better. But I always tend to disappear again. You know I'm like a ghost, sometimes I have to fade. And it hurts me that I have to be this way. You say it's gone cold, I say I'll do better. Then I always seem to disappear again. You know I'm like a ghost.
Making it even messier than it was before Rin acquired the right to use it. I offer to help her clean it up every now and then, but each time she refuses. It dawns on me that in her mind, the room is not in utter chaos. Rather, her system of keeping track of everything is so elaborate, only Rin herself can make sense of it. She knows exactly where everything is, from the tiniest brush to that half-empty tube of crimson that's the perfect shade for some picture in progress. She walks from one painting to another, looking at them as if not remembering that she made them. She talks to herself or to the paintings, even when I'm present, and always just quietly enough that I can't make out the words. Every day, Rin pours herself onto the canvas for hours on end, squeezing every bit of her ability and even her soul to make good on that promise she made to me. Or to herself. Black marks appear beneath her eyes, a sure sign that she's skipping sleep in favor of painting. I'm somewhat surprised to see her at school a few times. I never go and say hello, though, as I somehow feel it would break the silent magic of the evenings we share at the atelier. Sometimes Sai comes by when I'm there. She gives me a certain kind of look when she shows up. I think she doesn't like that I'm always hanging out with Ren up here, but she never says a word about it. She isn't quite as full of praise for Ren's work as Nomiya, but is visibly impressed nonetheless. However, then she turns her eyes from the wonderful works of art to look upon the little red-headed girl that made them. A sudden, deep sadness floats under the surface of her expression. I can't explain it, and she never talks about it. June turns into July almost that morning. End-of-term exams look dangerously close, but all I can think of is Ren. I feel like a sleepwalker at school, looking forward only to the next time I get to visit that silent place above Sai's gallery. After Ren refuses my attempts at directly helping her with work, I try to figure out other ways to help her. It finally dawns on me that she's not eating properly. My course of action decided, I stop at the convenience store before going to catch the bus downtown on my next visit to the studio. I feel very energetic as I open the door right to the atelier and greet Ren. Brought you some fruit. Eating vitamins and actual food, after all. Do you even eat up here?
I do eat. If I didn't eat, I couldn't paint.
Then why don't you eat a couple of these? I shake a bag full of ripe oranges in my hand and in a polite attempt Ren into taking a break. To my surprise, she actually lays her brush down and walks over to me to see what I bought. Her expression doesn't change at all when she looks into the bag.
I can't eat oranges, Hisao. It does not work very well with feet.
It's alright, I'll do it. Of course, I knew that had she told me herself after all. Of course I knew that. She told me herself after all. I extract the tiny fruit knife I have with me and select one of the round fruits. After making the initial cut, I begin to peel it with my fingers. The strong scent of a cut orange rind immediately fills the air as thousands of tiny droplets of oil burst from the skin. I remove the first section of the hard peel and shoot a glance at Ren. So, how's the work going?
I don't know. It's like I'm the center of some huge mountain of jelly, and I have to dig my way out.
With the spoon. Must be stressful.
I think it might be, even though it's just painting, everything feels really strange.
I wonder if Ren is the kind of person who likes to carefully remove all the white fibrous stuff from oranges before eating them, or the more careless type who just eats them as they come. Maybe neither. I'm the former type, so I meticulously clean the orange slices one by one while Ren watches the process with mild curiosity. Oh, Hisao's also got a bit of the tism. I knew he had it in him. Also, notice this red stain here?
Yeah.
Looks kind of like a heart.
Oh.
Oh, it's over her heart. Oh, that's a cute detail. I realize I don't have the faintest idea about her likes or dislikes or any of the other little details that make up the concept of person for those around them. It's like in all this time I haven't learned much about her at all. Once I've finished lamenting that fact, I realize I've cleaned the entire orange and neatly split it into slices. Held the slice up, bring it closer to Rin so she can pick it up. Here. She takes
There's just a giant mouth in the background. What the fuck?
It looks like fucking Dio. Oh, Jonathan, my boy, this isn't how we're going to destroy the Joestar family.
I really do not understand why the fuck Dio has such huge beef with the Joestar family.
It's because he decided that he needed to ruin someone's life.
That's literally it.
He's just so ambitious, he decided that he has to destroy a family in order to have a decent life, even though he was just fucking handed one.
Exactly.
Dio's just a bitch.
Yeah,
he is the biggest bitch around town.
Yeah, he is such a bitch. She takes it directly in between her lips and then into her mouth, whole. Her lower lip brushes against my fingertip. Rin chews the slice carefully, savoring it as much as possible. I become fixated on the movements of her jaw, a trickle of juice glistening on her lip, the way her throat moves when she swallows this orange slice. Hisao, dude! You sound like a fucking serial killer, my guy.
You sound like Dexter Morgan.
So, yeah, I just started watching that again. I love that show. Fucking Jared used to have the book that show was based on. After I realize what I'm doing, I turn away, feeling embarrassed about watching her so intently.
Not the same as it usually is.
The orange?
Painting.
Oh, well, is anything like that ever the same?
It is sometimes. I think. I don't know what, though. I might be starting to paint differently soon, if this goes on.
Well, wouldn't that just be that change you keep talking about? She thinks about it, blinking her eyes a few times nervously. For a moment, absolutely nothing happens, as if time itself did a double take. We stare at each other in silence, only that faint, tangy scent of orange floating between us and the muffled sounds of traffic in the background. Then I pick up another slice and hold it to her. She takes it from me with her mouth just like the first one.
I didn't think it would be like this.
Well, keep on going and see what happens. It's not like you can do anything else.
Yeah. The only thing I can do.
After that, she says nothing more. In the ensuing silence, I feed Rin the rest of the orange one slice at a time. I peel another for her, which she eats as well, and the third I eat myself. And the rest are left in their plastic bag, which I put on a small desk next to the couch. She stands up and returns to her paintings, with a strange look in her eyes that I haven't seen before. Like most of her expressions, it is completely unreadable. Even if I asked, she wouldn't explain what it means.
You're getting a lot of loading screens.
Yeah. Some days later, I spot Ren and Sai standing together in the front of the gallery as I walk down the street towards the gallery. They seem to be talking to each other while Sai has a smoke. Afternoon? I say this even though it's not really afternoon anymore. I came a bit later than usual since I got caught up doing homework. It's gonna be dark soon. Oh there, Hisao. Came to visit the little kitten again. Ren makes a face at the nickname because she doesn't like it. Ironically, the way she wrinkles her nose really does make it look a little bit like a cat.
Hello.
Sai turns back to Ren to continue the conversation they were having. So, in other words, everything's going well enough? Ren makes a difficult expression that turns her face away from me for some reason.
It's difficult. It's like missing something. But I will do it.
Work hard, and it'll be fine. I'm gonna have to start working on my part of the preparations. I need to do sales catalogs, invitations, decorations, advertisement, and so on. I need the names of your crew works, and we also need to think of the general theme for the exhibition.
They don't have anything like that. I'm not very good with words, so I don't use them. If I cannot use them. I mean, sometimes I have to, but I think it's not a time like that at all. I think this is not a time like that at all.
You don't like naming your works?
I don't like it.
Well, I guess it's hard to come up with a good name for something like this. I don't know, just number them then? Some pretentious douchebag will think it's art. Rin shakes her head vehemently.
It's not like that. It's like if I paint a cloud and call it an octopus, people will think about it differently than if I painted a cloud and called it the end of the world. Every name is wrong. Nothing ever explains what I feel like when I make a painting. It's not a word thing. The only thing would be to come up with new everything. But would it help at all?
No, I don't think so. Then the paintings would go with just unnamed number 1 and so on. It's been convenient, but
That's no good. Unnamed means that you just didn't come up with a good name. And unnamed is a name. Like that Greek guy with the sheep and all. Oh, that's a pretty deep cut reference.
I don't know what she's referencing though, because I didn't pay
Well, it's a
attention.
Greek story about a guy who doesn't really have a name, but he's like a hoarder of sheep. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay. Sai thinks about this for a while. Furrowing her brow, she keeps looking at Ren's serious face. So you're saying your artwork should be completely without labels?
I think that's what I'm saying. Which honestly, I think would be fucking phenomenal. I don't get, you know.
She's not Monorame. I mean, like, she definitely isn't, because she isn't stealing other people's art. Sai lets out a dry laugh, the kind old ladies who smoke too much seem to end up with. Let's hope her art will never end up in a museum. The curators would explode. She takes a contemplative puff on her cigarette, which has worn down not much more than the butt. And then she drops it into an ashtray affixed to the wall next to the door. Then again, it could work. What do you mean? The namelessness, this rejection of labels, it works. It's a good unifying theme, and people can grasp onto it easily. Allows for a lot of room for interpretation. It gives a good impression. Think about it. All sorts of associations can be made, starting from identity and self-definition all the way to whatever you want to think about it. We could call your exhibition Nameless and build on that theme. How does that sound? Ren thinks about this for a while. I'm not sure how Sai managed to get so fired up by Ren's reluctance to apply names to her work.
That's how creativity works.
It feels like she might be extrapolating too much, but it's pretty impressive. It's a pretty impressive sounding idea.
I don't think it's a bad idea.
For what it's worth, I have to say it sounds pretty good to me too. Sai reaches through her pocket for another cigarette, lighting it with a neon green butane lighter. Her forehead wrinkles, and she rubs it as she appears to fiercely think more on this idea. She doesn't say a word for a little bit, and every now and then she takes a sharp drag from the cigarette. Yeah, I think this will work out pretty nicely. I'm going to take this as a starting point and work from there. I'm going into work on this. You go back upstairs and try to find the missing ingredient. I'm sure it'll come to you sooner or later. Rin doesn't reply, so Sai takes one last long pull from a cigarette and drops it into the tray to join the others of its kind. Gallery turns to head back instead. I stop by Rin as she reaches for the door handle. Sai? Fuck, no, that was yours.
Oh, damn. Sai?
What is it, kitten?
Alright, first, stop calling me fucking kitten, number one. And number two, can I have some cigarettes?
Oh my fucking god, this shit. Honestly, the scene that's about to come up is probably one of my favorite visuals in this game. She looks at Rin incredulously, clearly not having expected such a direct request. Not that I did either. Don't tell your teacher. She stuffs the packet in Rin's pocket along the neon green light. What the fuck, Sai?
Like, look, I get it. I'm an artist too. We smoke our pain away.
What the fuck? The day is already falling into dusk when we climb up the dark stairs leading up to what is basically Ren's atelier. As we go inside, Rin doesn't seem to be able to settle down. She keeps pacing around the room like a caged animal, looking through the skylight at the burgundy-colored dusk. The last light of the sun's advance over the sky reflects from the clouds floating over the town, filling every corner of the atelier with blazing orange light. So the painting's going well? She blinks, then relaxes her muscles. I didn't even realize how tensed up she was until now.
Not really. I haven't painted in 3 days. I'm going in squares.
Circles.
If you say so. I tried doing things a bit differently, but it doesn't work at all, and now the old way doesn't work either. I need something more. It's not enough like this.
Ren's response gives me pause, since, as usual, I can't exactly understand what she means. Although, really, I shouldn't have expected anything else. She either says nothing at all or too much. Trying to comprehend and follow her train of thought feels like wading through the jungles of Boreno, equipped with a wooden spoon and a map of Hokkaido. To knowing how her thoughts are both laid out plain sight and hidden from view every time she opens her mouth. What more? You said that this eye as well. Missing ingredient?
I think I have to destroy myself.
Okay, that sounds unnecessarily grim. What do you mean? Rin's shoulders slump, and she turns to face me directly.
I have to change. I've tried, but this is not enough yet. I have to destroy myself first, I think.
Just be clear, you're speaking metaphorically, right? Like, learning to paint from scratch again, or whatever, so to speak? She shrugs her shoulders as if there's no difference.
There is no difference.
So, you're gonna start by smoking a cigarette for inspiration.
Maybe. I've never tried this before. Have you?
No, can't say I have. So, I'm not really sure if having a smoke is the best starting point. Yeah, normally, you start with weed. Yeah. But then again, like, weed is still, like, ultra illegal in Japan, so, yeah.
I don't know why. Shit's cool.
Yeah, weed is good. I fucking love weed. Smoke weed every day.
Yeah. Don't know.
Snoop Dogg's weed rolling skills are so amazing, he actually turned out to be a pretty good sushi chef.
That what's funny is that that's actually true. Like, people in the audience, go look that shit up.
Yeah. Actually, I'll link. Actually, I'll see if I can link to like any of his recipes from his cookbook if I can find it. Maybe a PDF or something. She responds to my words with another nonchalant shrug. I open the cigarette pack and look inside. It's almost full.
Damn, Sai really does not know how to go through a pack, doesn't
Sai
she?
just does not give a fuck. Smoking is bad for you, but that's the idea here, I guess.
Yes, I need to do something. I want to paint. I need something more. Because you said you'd always keep your word. Show me what you're after. I thought you'd promise me the world. Tell me what you're after. Don't want to take it way too far. Because here we are. Waiting once again. You said you'd always keep your word. Show me what you're after. Just a little faster.
I need a... Was that from Generator Rex or was that from that fucking live-action Ben 10 Alien Storm movie?
It was the live-action Ben 10 Alien Swarm movie, and that film sucked, by the way.
Oh my fucking god.
I feel like the movie probably would have been a lot...
canon anymore?
Huh?
Is that movie even still canon?
It is. It's still canon.
Because I know Race Against Time is canon because Eon keeps showing up, but like...
Yeah, the Alien Swarm movie is canon. Turns out the aliens... Yeah.
So, like, when does it take place again?
It takes place in between seasons 2 and 3.
Oh my fucking god. If I really do start rewatching Ben 10, I need to watch this shit. Why?
Because here's the thing. The film itself has a pretty decent, like... It's got a good concept and everything, and but here's something I don't get. I would say that the film probably just needed a theatrical budget until you realize this film cost $40 million to make.
And it looks like this.
Yeah.
I still remember how freaking muddy Big Chill looks at the beginning. Like, why is he fucking brown?
And most of the alien transformations are in the dark.
Yeah. And
I know why,
and like
but
the whole swarm
geez.
thing too. And like nano. Okay. So the movie is canon because it introduces Nanomech, right?
Yeah.
They never mentioned the Swarm Queen, though?
They do mention the Swarm Queen in season 3.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay. I'm gonna need to watch this whole goddamn series again. Fuck! So, okay, fine. What's after smoking a cigarette, then? How do you intend to destroy yourself? Rin thinks for a split second, averting her gaze like she does when she doesn't want to get distracted.
I don't know yet. I'll decide later.
Ren bends down to pick out a cigarette from the end. She raises her head with one between her lips and turns to me. Eyebrows curved into arcs, challenging me to respond.
This is like...
Dude, it's like those fucking... In Boo or Wojaks with like the fucking shitty shades, the bad hair, and the freaking Monster Ultra.
For God's sake.
Don't do drugs, kids, otherwise you'll end up like me. With a sigh of resignation, I pick up the lighter and raise it to meet the cigarette. I can feel Rin's warm breath against my quivering hand. The flame flickers to life on the third strike of the flint, and I try to aim the dancing fire at the end of the cigarette. The amber-colored glow spreads into the wrapping paper of tobacco as Rin inhales the first smoke. It seems to relax her significantly.
Damn, I thought she'd start fucking... Like, seriously, like, I thought she would start coughing like a goddamn motherfucker.
To my surprise, she doesn't cough, despite telling me that she's a first-timer.
Oh, sorry.
I'm technically not even a first-timer when it comes to smoking, and I still cough like a motherfucker.
First time I smoked runs, I coughed so hard I passed kidney stone.
Actually, no, I don't. Actually, no, I haven't smoked. I vaped before, though.
Hmm.
I'm getting a little better at it, though. I just need to get used to things being down my throat.
Giggity.
Ren seems to remember that it's hard to blow smoke out without spitting the cigarette out as well, so she quickly sits on the floor, bring her foot to her lips like a circus contortionist, and expertly picks the filter between the two toes. How the fuck? That is one huge ball and socket joint, then. I get down on the floor as well, and we both lie down almost simultaneously while Ren blows a steady stream of smoke towards the dim sky beyond the glass of the skylight, looking after it thoughtfully. This is my favorite visual. The thin haze of steely blue smoke slithers from the ceiling in fish-like movements. The billows in the stagnant air of the atelier is twisting and turning around its own immaterial body until it dissipates into thin air.
What's the word for smoke that looks like that?
There is no word for that.
We should maybe come up with one.
Maybe. Ren takes another...
Legibus.
Ren takes another quick experimental drag.
It's not very tasty. It feels like inhaling the dust lying on the top of the forgotten book about the memories of a dead kingdom. Do you want to try?
Hesitation unintentionally surfaces again, making me freeze in the face of a rather trivial and commonplace challenge. Ren's ability to take everything so coolly is something I'm a bit jealous of. Alright. Shit, excuse me. Taking it from her, I have a drag on it, fighting against a sudden choking feeling in my lungs as they fill with smoke. To my embarrassment, I fail, wheezing and hacking my lungs out. I feel flustered, but maybe I haven't lost too much face in Rin's eyes. It's less unpleasant on the second try, but I still pass the cigarette back to Rin. Like a pair of budding delinquents in middle school sneaking their first smoke out of sight of their teachers and parents. Well, I suppose it's not like, that's exactly what we are. After a while, the cigarette has shrunk most of the way down to the filter. Ren is still looking quietly out of the skylight. With her looking out there, the silence beside the atelier seems to deepen even more. Where are the cogs of creativity turning behind those eyes right now?
Do another one.
I mechanically pick up her cigarette, light it, and place it on Ren's lips. She takes a few quick puffs and moves it awkwardly around with her lips.
What if?
Fake if.
Fake if.
Not understanding her garbled words, I glance over at Red and it looks like she's having trouble with the cigarette. I pick the cigarette from her lips and place it on mine, abandoning common sense and good reason while I do so. The first one should have been enough for me, but I take another drag, still coughing a little at the unpleasant sensation of smoke invading my respiratory organs. I remember doing something like this before.
So you have smoked. So you have smoked? Doesn't look like it though.
Nah, lying on my back and looking at the sky with you.
Oh.
The sky on the other side of glass is slowly growing darker. It's unreachably high, even if the shivering smoke seems to make it closer. I return the cigarette back in Ren's mouth. It feels bad somehow. The space between us, less than an arm's reach, is still there. It's the distance between us. The immeasurably wide chasm of thoughts and feelings that separates us with graver certainty than even light years of physical distance could. By saying the right words, there might be a way to make that chasm narrower, even if just a little. I tried to cross that gap with one big step, but Rin turned me back. I glanced at her out of the corner of my eye. Rin is staring upward through the smoke-filled ceiling, and the skylight is darkened at the darkening sky above us. It's almost like she's sleeping, even though I know she isn't. Her eyes are open, as is her mouth. I take the cigarette from Ren before it falls on her cheek. She doesn't react to my touch in any way. So, this is where we are now. I wonder if we can ever be closer than this. I take a drag of the cigarette and blow a thin stream of smoke upwards. These indirect kisses are the only things that connect us right now. The taste of Ren's lips on the filter mixed with the ashen taste of the smoke. Her soft lifts against my fingers as I press the cigarette on her mouth as if she were placing kisses on them. The ash falling on the floor between us like snow. As the second cigarette begins to finish off, I'm already lighting the third one. The only thing breaking the stillness of the atelier is the inaudible sound of smoke floating towards the first stars blinking overhead. Light nausea hits me by the fourth or fifth cigarette. Before long, the shape of the waxing moon appears in the skylight, shedding her wan light on us. It'll be a full moon in a few days. It'd be nice to be able to fly. I flinched after realizing it was my own voice that gave birth to the remark, the bastard child of the almost inebriating smoke and tiredness.
You can't?
You can?
Sometimes I feel like it. Like I can do anything. Okay, do these cigarettes have fucking weed in them? Because they're talking like two stoned kids right now.
Well, they're getting tired, so maybe that's why.
Probably.
I wish I felt like that too sometimes. I wonder if she hears the bitterness seeping into my words. The vicious cycle of unrequited feelings is poisoning me, even now. I try to push the grim thoughts aside. My efforts meet with little success, and my mind keeps swirling around what ifs and if onlys. Watching the moon slowly creeping higher, I realize that a long time has passed since I came here. It sobers me somewhat, but also reminds me of the sad status quo we're in now. It's late. I'd better get back to school. I stand up to leave, but Rin doesn't show any sign of rising up from the floor. She lies inanimate, as though all life had been sapped from her. Like little wisps of smoke float about her, memories of the cigarettes we shared. I grasp her by her short and thin arm and try to pull her up. To my surprise, she complies and stands up with some help from me. I notice how little Rin weighs, as if she were made of feathers. Are you gonna stay here overnight?
I have to. I haven't painted much in 3 days. I have to find out how I can start painting. Maybe the smoke helps.
Just take a break.
That's no good. I have to do it. If I can't paint anymore, I'll be destroyed for real.
Maybe you're just burned out. You have been working pretty hard.
That would be bad. Wonder if this is it for me. I want to see how far I can go. Maybe this is it. This is the end. Every light I count to 10. Okay, I'm done.
You just have artist block. It's no big deal. That's
That's oh, that's the word for when you can't paint, right?
right.
I've had that before. Never like this though. I can't pick up a brush. Well, I pick up a brush, then I want to put it down right away. And then I do. 3 days. It's like I've forgotten how to paint. I didn't think that was possible. Like, more impossible than Emmy growing wings and a tail.
You need a break. I mean, yeah, no, you need a break. I mean, I get that you're trying to go deeper inside yourself for your paintings, but it's really not that healthy to stay inside your own head for so long. I glance at the night sky visible through the window. A couple of stars are weakly twinkling above the city. They remind me of something I used to do. Once upon a time, it feels so horribly long ago. Come on, let's go outside.
Where?
Just for a walk. I'll show you my secret place. I don't know if it works in this town, but we can try. In any case, you need a break and probably something to eat. Come on.
So why don't we go somewhere only we know?
You need to get your thoughts away from this for a while. When they're troubled, most people escape from their unhappy lives into a world of fantasy. I did that before, still do today. Reading books endlessly, immersing myself in their world rather than my own. Rin's escape should be the other way around, though. Out of her inner world and into the real. Rin doesn't look happy about this, but I ignore her. At least she's somewhat cooperative, walking after me as we head down the stairs and then to the sidewalk. Night has fallen upon the town. It's a gentle summer night, smelling of flowers and hot asphalt. The sunlight is replaced by shining neon colors and bland yellow streetlights. The air is easy to breathe, as if the air pressure was noticeably lighter than usual. The feeling of daytime in the hot summer has lasted long into the evening and night. I grab Rin by her sleeve, like I've seen Emmy do. And to my surprise, she obediently follows.
Keep reading.
The pale streetlights fight against the all-enveloping darkness as we walk together. The guide and the guided, although neither knows the destination. But it doesn't matter. This is the one moment where the unusual silences have become a ritual between me and Rin that lasts perfectly. We walk side by side, choosing directions on impulse or inspiration. Sometimes we find ourselves back at a street we've already seen once or twice. Sometimes we find new streets. All of them look asleep. Rin doesn't ask where we're going. Maybe she doesn't care. Maybe she knows I don't have an answer. The silence of the night isn't scary after all. The lights drive most of it away. The air grows cooler as the moon progresses along its journey in the cloudless sky. Few cars roam the streets at this hour. Even fewer people are on the sidewalk. The apparent lack of nocturnal life is somehow befitting of this place. There are round-the-clock shops and cafes, sure, but the atmosphere is like the town itself is slumbering. A town that sleeps 8 hours a day. The city I grew up in, bathed in the electric glow of a million light bulbs, never slept. I haven't seen it for myself. It's not the first time I've done this. It happened one of the first times I was home alone. Both my parents had business trips that neither could cancel, so they deemed me old enough to survive 2 days on my own. Their misplaced trust in me did not go to waste, as I proceeded to spend the entire night out walking around the city. Even afterwards, I couldn't say what made me stay downtown longer than I intended after school. I didn't feel like going home, so I stayed through the evening and eventually through the entire night. I walked long, concentric circles around a landmark chosen at random. For some reason, the nighttime city felt fascinating, so I walked its streets. At every intersection, it was possible to choose your direction at random because they all led nowhere. The aimless wandering made me see things differently. I hope it'll do the same for Rin. We stopped to buy some hot coffee and snacks from a vending machine and then locate a bench where we'd sit down to eat. There's no time in the night of the town, so we spent an unknown amount of it just sitting there observing the stillness of the usually vivid townscape. Still, it's getting very late and soon it'll be getting very early.
So this is it.
Hearing Rin's voice surprises me. She doesn't sound bored, rather her tone inquisitive, uncertain as to why I dragged her out here, yet curious to find out the answer. Yeah. Have you ever been out all night? It's like a different world. The remark sends her thinking for a while, looking around as if she were looking for something. The wisps of light reflecting from the corners of her eyes are suddenly very sharp.
It's not a different world. It's the same, just asleep. What do you think this town is dreaming of? Maybe something like car sheep or building sheep. Why are dreams always about sheep?
I've never seen a sleep-related dream that I can remember.
Sheep-related dream? Do different towns dream of different things?
Probably. How could they not? I answer half joking, half spurring her on. For the first time tonight, it seems like a bit of Rin's life has returned to her. She doesn't continue her list of rhetorical questions, though. Instead, she leans back a little and looks up at the moon traveling above the town. The cool breeze blowing in between the buildings seems to steal the conversation away before it really begins. It's too bad. Looked like Rin would get out of her blue mood. I wish I could somehow know the right things to say, but I realize I can't do that the way I am now. I'm too far from Rin. I haven't really managed to crack her open. She's just too complicated. It's like she's open to everything, equally disinterested in everything. Equally interested, disinterested in everything from the outset. In truth, she's locked tighter than anyone else I know, even myself. Sometimes she locks herself inside that inner world, shutting everyone else out. And other times, her thoughts flow freely from her mind, but not organized in any fashion that would make them intelligible to the rest of the world. What comes out in the form of the paintings, I can't interpret. It's just me. To me, it's just a sea of colors and shapes, not a message. She's too far away. I now know it was a bad idea to try to reach for her in the way I did, but I can't help liking her. I look at the fingers in my right hand, trying to remember what Rin's lips felt like against them. Do you ever feel like you're trying to reach out for something that's impossible to reach? Rin turns her gaze to me, tilting her head quizzically. I wonder if she understands the meaning of my own rhetorical question or not. Either way, I like how I can manage to catch her attention just by speaking aloud nowadays.
All the time. At least I think so. That's what painting feels like a lot of the time. Or all the time. I don't know. Sometimes I get the feeling that I can really paint what I want. Sometimes it feels like another shadow of me, like a mirror that doesn't work right.
Like talking.
Maybe. That's how I feel about writing.
Same, actually.
When I was little, I didn't really have friends. Maybe it's the same now. The only thing I liked were pens and paints. They were the only things that understood me. Shit, Rin is just fucking me as a girl.
Egg.
You were right for the first path we went down to be Rins. You were 100% right.
I kind of just
Now
picked it on a whim, dude.
Well, hell, coincidence? Maybe, but fucking hell, this was perfect. Perfect decision.
Yeah.
Now it feels like that's going away too. Change really is a scary thing. But when you walk away, you don't hear me say, please. Oh, baby, don't go. Simple and clean is the way that you're making me feel tonight. Can't let it go.
I wish I could understand you. She looks at me melancholically, roused by my thoughts materializing as words spoken aloud. Wait. Oh my fucking god, she's aware of it.
Me too.
She wishes we could understand her.
Aw. Poor baby.
Whether she meant she wished for me to understand her to understand me, or her to understand herself, I never ask. Nor do I find out. Good chance it's probably all three. Best case scenario. I see her eyes searching for mine, serious and cryptic as they are. I'm not getting any explanation from there.
Don't worry about it.
I will. Small hints of a smile are wavering on her lips. When she's like this, it makes me feel that maybe there's hope for us. We get along so well for being so different. It's just that we never really get along precisely because we are so different. Maybe it was Ren's passionate approach for her own art exhibition. Maybe perhaps my own careless words. But last week was different from the usual. The small friction between us seems to be somewhat volatile. But at least we now seem to be back to normal. Relatively speaking. We stand up for the bench and pick yet another direction in which to go. In the wee hours of the night slowly pass by as we measure the streets of the town, one step at a time. We are finally at ease, not minding the rare lone passerby, the eerie darkness, each other, ourselves. Rin's steps seem lighter, like the heavy air around her is letting go a little. It makes me feel happy. We don't talk, save for the single remarks that are spoken into the night of the town, and never answered. The details jump into the eye instead of being the usual blur they are during the day. As the sky above the town changes from deep dark blue to gray, I know that our night is soon ending. It's almost morning. Rin looks up too and nods at me. It's true, the coming light of morning is creeping through the sky, climbing higher by the minute. It feels surreal. The sun won't come for a while, but I get the feeling that the end of this night really is here and now. Shall we head back? Rin nods again, twice, her hair waving in the breeze that seems to be heralding the coming dawn. Abruptly, she takes off, taking the lead in this walkabout in which I'd brought her. Seems she really is in a better mood. This, too, makes me feel happy. Rin's navigational skills are probably not much better than mine, but we eventually find ourselves in front of Sai's place. I don't know if this was of any help. I did this once before, but it was more because of the stupid impulse, or maybe relentlessness back then. Or maybe restlessness back then. Maybe this was a silly idea and didn't really help you at all. She just nods in answer. So, do you know how you're going to destroy yourself now?
I have some ideas. I don't want to see you for a while. Don't come and see me. Do something else.
Her ultimatum catches me completely off guard. What the hell? What's that about? You said before that you didn't mind.
I mind now. Just for a while. I have to do this alone.
I don't like that.
Why?
I don't want it to go like this.
Why?
I just don't want to feel this distance between you and me. She tilts her head like a bird, her eyes narrowing a little as she thinks.
Then you can touch me.
What?
You can touch me if you want. You'd feel better, right?
I don't know.
Try.
Where do you want me to touch you?
No boobs or left ear. Other than that, you can decide.
Okay, at least you're putting it down. Fine. I raise my hand hesitantly, even though I don't know why I'm actually doing this. Her eyes tell me she's not going to explain. 1,000 thoughts race through my head as I slowly bring my hand closer to Rin's face and press 3 fingers against her pale cheek. Rin feels soft and cold. She closes her eyes on contact and visibly relaxes. I can feel her soft breathing, her muscles releasing tension as my fingertips caress her cheek. She doesn't rest her head against my palm or anything like you expect a girl to do in this sort of situation. In fact, she hasn't reacted at all, save for those now shut eyes. Once I withdraw my hand, she opens them again. It might just be an illusion created by the timid morning sunlight playing with my eyes, but Rin looks like she's holding back a smile. This is the problem with our relationship. Half the time I have no idea what's going on. The other half I just fail to understand why things are going on like they are now. As usual, I'm not going to get an explanation. Rin merely takes a step towards the door.
See you later.
Then she disappears from my reach for an undefined period of time. I thought that was going to turn out a little differently.
Me too.
I hold true to my promise of honoring Ren's request, even if against my own will. I try to redirect my focus into my studies, but end up zoning out during classes and doing only the minimum amount of work required. I start looking into my post-high school options a bit more seriously. I pore over university brochures and various career paths. I'm good at studying, so I want to go to a university. I'm pretty sure I could get into a pretty decent one too. The only problem is deciding which subject would be best. Kenji ridicules me about subjecting myself to the control of feminist teachers when I tell him about trying to get into a university. I don't ask him about what he wants to do in the future. Probably nothing, because honestly, there is no hope for people who think like that.
Obviously.
I wonder what Rin thinks of her own future. I bet she's not as lost as I am, and if she is, it's probably some completely different way. I feel somewhat disappointed in finding out that I can't stop thinking about her. Her request makes me worry about her and think about her more than I did when I could go and see her when I wanted. It bothers me that I can't. As expected, I eventually crack. Late one afternoon, I get on the bus heading downtown. I try to avoid explaining to myself exactly why I'm doing this, and keep thinking about other things for the entire duration of the trip. After a 5-minute walk, I'm standing in front of the gallery. I walk past it to the door of the atelier, but at the last moment I lose my courage and continue all the way up to the next corner, at which point I turn back. Will Rin hate me if I go and see her? I wonder what she's like when she's angry. I've never seen her.
Stop being a pussy.
The worst thing would be if I actually ruined something by going to see her, like she seemed to imply would happen. But there's no way that can be true, can there? It's just one of her quirks. I walk back down the street and end up passing the atelier door for the second time. Only this time, as I continue all the way to the gallery, its owner standing just outside the door, watching me. I thought that was you. What are you doing? I really don't want to explain the circumstances between Rin and me, so I get flustered and end up mumbling something unclear. She takes stock of me and then sighs deeply, looking wryly amused somehow. I hope she didn't misunderstand. Would you like to come in? Your teacher's visiting. We were discussing Rin's exhibition. Thanks for the invitation, but I really should... Don't be shy now. Come on in. I follow Sai inside, finding that our art teacher indeed is there. Nomiya is standing at the big desk, contemplating what looks like an invitation card. Look what the cat dragged in.
Nakai, hello there, my boy.
SpongeBob, me boy!
Sponge Boy me, Bob.
Dude, I think we might have missed a big opportunity not making him talk like Mr. Krabs.
I can't do a good Clancy Brown impression.
Mr. Squidward, there'll be no busting nuts today. We got orders to fill.
But Mr. Krabs, I really need to bust a nut. I can't say it without laughing.
For Mr. Krabs, think of the commercials. No, Boyardee. Go and finger me booty. I mean, count me booty.
I miss when Uncle Al did those videos. He's not going to be doing any more of them anymore.
Why?
He said he doesn't want to just do shit posts like that anymore. But I'm gonna miss him.
Oh, okay. He doesn't seem to be at all fazed by my appearance. How do you like the invitations? I glanced at them quickly. They're kind of fancy, with one of Rin's paintings printed on the front cover in shiny gold writing. Look fine to me.
It's shining bright like a diamond. They're magnificent. I absolutely love the design. And the embossed gold lettering. Embossed gold lettering. Fabulous. Good print work, too. You have to tell me where you get these done.
What does Rin think? I haven't asked. She said she'd be fine with my decision anyway. Nomiya laughed boisterously, still turning the gold-lettered card in his hands.
That's my girl. She wants to focus on the essentials only. Good for her.
The work is progressing well, too. Seems she's found new inspiration. I think she's been sort of weird lately. It's like she's wrestling with something with herself, probably, and it makes her confused. She said she had a hard time painting last time I saw her. Seems to be resolved now, however. You know she practically lives up there now, right? Sai makes a simple gesture with her hand as if sweeping my question aside. Sure. Don't you think that's weird? Maybe it is. Still, I think she understands how big an opportunity this is and is going for it. Full throttle. Is it really that big? Nomiya sets the card down and brushes some imaginary dust off his jacket.
Well, how should I put it? There are times in everyone's lives where something really big washes over you. It changes you forever. This could be that same moment for Tezuka.
I see. Yeah, I think I've had something like that happen to me before. I'm referring to the incident that brought me to Yuuko. Neither of the two adults comment on that, however.
It might be that everyone has, or will, at any rate. It might be that everyone has, or will, at any rate. Surrendering oneself to art is a big decision and a thorny path too. Quite thorny indeed. Tezuka has almost everything one needs. But whether she has the will to pull through, that's a different question. She's got the makings of greatness in her. She just needs to understand that she's got to pull it out of herself and let her light shine. And in the future, all I can hope is that I'm there to soak up just a small amount of the rays. I should know that best. I tried going down this path too, but turned away in the end.
There was a metaphor I wanted to make. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Well, I just referenced Treasure Planet, so I don't know if you can do anything better than Treasure Planet.
Every night, I lie awake, and I dream of an absolution.
Down, 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 down.
Alright, what do they want me to say here? So, okay, it's our choice. The next choice that we have to make, though, is one of the more important ones. So, yeah.
Okay.
So, what do you want us to say?
Oh, let's just call out his supportivity of Rin. Is that why you're being so supportive of Rin?
Because you know it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Sai answers me instead of the art teacher. Maybe, partially. Does it bother you? No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing either. I just don't get it. Like, the Atelier. It's an amazing place, but it's not been used in who knows how long, and now Rin comes up. 17 years and 4 months. I raise my eyes to meet Sai's. A calm, calculating stare, not unlike Rin's own, is fixed upon me. Nomiya's usual smile has suddenly died too. It feels like the air pressure in the gallery has suddenly dropped along with the temperature. That's how long it's been since someone's worked there. Oh. I guess there's a story to everything. Sai crosses her arms with a quiet sigh and leans against the table. The atelier belonged to my husband. He was an artist too. He lived up there. Well, we both lived up there for some time after we got married. We actually met through... Fuck!
You good?
Read.
You good?
Read.
Oh, Nomiya. We actually met through him, as a matter of fact.
That's right. Anyway, we were young and foolish. Or at least I was. We were studying art at the same school. Art history for me, painting for him. And as he just said, this is about the time I met your teacher. Anyway, I fell madly in love with this person. Or maybe with his art. He was brilliant. His genius just shone so brightly whenever he put a brush to the canvas. Her voice takes on an almost reverent sort of tone as she reminisces about her husband. I look at her hands and notice that she's not wearing a wedding band. On top of that, she keeps speaking in past tense.
Oh, he did.
He really was a sort of artist who would make history books. One with a direct line to God. That's what I thought anyway. Silly, isn't it?
I think we all knew that he was something else back then. Even the teachers.
That genius. Well, I'd say it consumed him. Everything, absolutely everything was second to art. Be it a social life, getting a job, or even me. It just wasn't as important. It seems that artists can't look at their works as just a job, you know? It's something more fundamental to them. It's hard to live with a person like that. Hard to be married to a person like that. She takes a pause and looks to see if I understood. I guess the point of the story hasn't emerged yet, or I've missed it. No, I think she should make the point loud and clear. Basically,
Yeah, she divorced him.
she's basically saying, Hisao, stop thirsting over her for 5 minutes. So, how do you cope with it? My question, probably the exact one she was waiting for, draws a dry chuckle out of her. However I could. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes I fooled myself into believing he would change. I pursued my own things too, so it was just easy to let him be. It's not like you can stop an artist from painting if he wants to paint. Plus, being with an artist is fascinating. I can't say that I hated it. Art schools are full of sort of posers and pretentious schmucks, but true artists are lovely people in general. I think that's why your teacher has taken such a shine to our little kitten. She really has the makings of an artist, and a good one at that. She wants to paint. She must paint.
Quite so. She's the best student I've ever had.
It's just about her finding her own way, too. It's just about her finding her own way now. Maybe that's why I wanted to give her this chance. If she goes to art school, it would be good for her. Artistic expression is about finding one's own place to be. Your own limits, and then working on that. To expand them, to break them, whatever works best. But you have to know the limits of what you can do. Anyway, long story short, my husband was a person without these kinds of limits. And a unique individual. But a human being can't endure a thing like that. He died young. After he was gone, I couldn't stand the atelier anymore, You could say that his flame is bright but brief. Her story comes to an abrupt end and it doesn't seem like she's going on any further. Nomiya toys with the invitation cards lying on the table, as if doing something just for the sake of doing it. But what if Rin is like your husband too? What if she's a person who has unlimited potential? Sai's hand twitches, and I see once more that sad look welling up in her eyes. It looks like she gets. It's the look she gets when she watches Rin. The look by which she remembers her husband. I doubt it. Sai stands up and digs in the pocket of her jacket for a cigarette and lighter. Her hands are shaking. I'm going out for a smoke. Wordlessly,
Oh, good job, Hisao. You gave the woman a fucking heart attack.
Oh my fucking god! Wordlessly, Nomiya and I both decide to follow her after a moment. It's already dark outside. Sai is standing with her back to us, taking sharp, occasional drags on her cigarette. Its weak amber glow illuminates her face, framing her sharp jawline.
Maybe it's best to call it a night. I can give you a lift back to school if you want, Nakai.
I'm not going anywhere, Shinichi. I need a drink. You're not going anywhere, Shinichi. I need a drink. We're going to that place in the corner. The teacher looks at the old lady and then shrugs at me apologetically. That's no problem. I'll just catch a bus back. I'm heading upstairs to see if Rin will come back to school with me anyway. I think she's been staying overnight here too often lately. Sai locks the front door of the gallery and links arms with the old art teacher. I feel strange looking at them. I wonder what it feels like to have friends who've been with you for decades, for most of your life. I can't imagine it. I can. Yeah, that's what Jeremy is to me.
Nice.
He was like the first person I met when I went to Doherty, and we kind of just never stopped talking to each other, and we just hung out. Even his family considers me one of them.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't known each other for a decade, but like, definitely more than 5 years. The two of them start making their way down the streets toward the bar on the corner, so I quickly head upstairs at the atelier door. Ready to get what I originally came here for. I climb upstairs and enter carefully. I just heard something.
What?
It sounded like a splat noise. Like
It might be
like something dripping.
dripping.
Yeah, like if she left like an unopened. Wait, no, she's a little too diligent to like leave a thing of paint open and just like leave it somewhere where it can. Let's just try to figure this out. Okay, it's not background audio, it's something else. The room is dark because of the quickly falling night, but I can't see Rin. But I can see Rin, rather her silhouette sitting on the floor. So she got her inspiration back like Sai said, and moved from easel to painting on the floor. But before I managed 5 steps, I stopped, frozen in my tracks. The ironic realization that human cognitive ability is commendable echoes through my mind. From a mere movement of her shadow, it took me a fraction of a second to realize something is awry. Process what I'm seeing, formulate the answer, and blush all the way to the tips of my ears. Rin is sitting on the floor with her legs under her. She moves in rhythmical motions back and forth, slowly grinding herself against herself. Her breathing is so heavy, it's almost visible in the dim light. It's the heavy painting of one who doesn't have any option of breathing gracefully. Her hips mere shadows against the dim light shining on her from above are swinging circularly over and over again.
Oh, this part might have to be cut out.
She hasn't noticed me, so engrossed she is in her activity. The deadlock solves itself before I get a chance to think what to do next. Something in the atmosphere of the room changes. A little thing, not consciously noticeable, but it changes. Perhaps a timid current from the open floor, or a minute change in air pressure. The sound of my breathing, even though I notice I haven't taken a breath for many, many seconds. The aura of my presence. That something catches Rin's senses. She stops moving, freezes, and slowly turns to the door. I imagine, not see, the horror on her face, like a fawn's eyes staring at a hunter. I wonder if Rin can see my expression, but at least she doesn't have the strength or the spirit to look straight in my eyes. So she drops her chin against her chest, letting her mess of hair hide her face from me even further. I feel like I should either walk out or walk to her, but I can't do either.
I told you to stay away.
Her words are defeated, painful as if she was suffering. Rin doesn't have anything other than her shirt on. I can see the last whiffs of the twilight against the pale skin of her thighs and bottom. There's no way I can back off anymore. I lost that chance, so I do the next best thing. I quickly avert my gaze, even though Rin doesn't see what I'm looking at. I'm sorry, I didn't think...
It's not like that.
Her voice is raspy, shivering from held-back tears or something else. She's shaking, looking like she is physically in pain.
It's not like that. I had no idea what it really means to change. But I know now you have no idea what I've had to do and all the things that pass through. And I think I forget. I really don't. They just build up inside and grow and grow and grow until they flow out like a flow of everything that has ever been wrong. I can't take it. I can't think of things I want because there's only so many things that I can think of. 4, 6, 7, doesn't matter. It's never enough. I have to let this out. I have to destroy, forget it, and nothing else.
Rin's mumbling her words into the air more than talking to me. It is the rambling, ranting, raving speech of a lunatic, even steady in tone, but taking the form of a never-ending stream of words almost simultaneously spawning from between her lips. It feels like she forgot it is me who is present, or that someone actually is present. Maybe she vaguely recognizes what is real and what is not. Maybe in her mind, I am a voice in her head. I look down at Ren's sorry figure, cowering on the floor with only the white shirt of her usual attire on. It neither preserves her modesty that is gone, nor her body warmth that she doesn't seem to care about. She looks more broken than I imagined a human person being capable of, and the hospital and the school have given me some real perspective on that. I remember the hazy blue smoke, and myself wondering if what Rin would do for the sake of art. The realization that Rin really is always this serious hits me with this entire weight. She really and truly would destroy herself if her art required it. I thought she was so silly with her strange ways, talking about personal change as if it was something sudden and concrete, like waking up. I had no idea. This is her, laid bare in front of my eyes in all possible meanings of the word. Complete isolation here in the top floor of this building, in this room in her mind. Day after day working on her paintings with no heed paid to anything else, breaking herself to reach that which she wishes to reach. This obscene act that she does for reasons I'm not sure she herself understands. Why does she have to do this? I'm trying to connect the pieces, but I don't understand. I feel sad, scared, excited, disgusted, worried, and a number of emotions I can't remember the name of now. I feel conflicted. I should go. I'm really sorry.
It doesn't matter.
My voice is dry and quiet, like sandpaper coming out of my voice is dry and quiet, like sandpaper coming out of my throat. I really am sorry for seeing all this. I don't want to see Rin like this. Hold on a second. I need a minute.
Jesus Christ, this is... Yeah, like, I said you might have to cut it out, but I think it's implying something else, or is Rin doing...
No, she is.
Okay.
No, she is. We're not cutting this, though. This is important.
Okay, yeah. Maybe just put like a black bar where Ren's
Nah.
legs are, so YouTube doesn't get fucky with us or something.
We're not seeing any ass, so we're good.
All right, Editor Thomas.
I'll do something.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Ren like this. All I can see is her sadness, her stress and despair. Is this what a limit means? How could Sai and Nomiya let Ren go this far? Or is it me who is to blame? I almost walk out right there, but at the last moments I turn around, steel myself up, and walk to Ren to crouch as behind her and lightly touch her forehead. She doesn't resist or react. I can't leave her like this. She's not well. She feels like she has a fever, freezing cold and burning hot at the same time. I wonder if she got sick from staying out all night with me back then. It seems she's prone to getting ill. There's a blanket on the couch, but I wrap my arms around Ren instead of fetching it. She does not resist my clumsy hug, only slumps her head lower, deepening the shadows hiding her face from me.
What are you doing?
Nothing. I'm not embracing her out of love, nor out of forgiveness. For am I in love, or is she sorry? I just want to hug her. For a moment, the only sound in the room is her heavy breathing. My body warmth shared between these two people is barely enough, but slowly, painfully, it slowly spreads from me to her. The small warmth returning to Ren makes me more conscious of her body against mine. Even in the darkness, I can feel the fleeting scent of Ren's hair, the sweat on her skin, the dried paint stuck to her shirt. I feel the hardness of her bones and the softness of her flesh. Her heartbeat is echoing mine out of rhythm, just like always. The hot blood rushing inside me reminds me why I said what I said back then. Why I came here even after that. Why I'm here tonight again. Why am I hugging her now to keep her safe? Why I am hugging her now to keep her safe against the cold and sadness. Ren really has grown on me inside my heart, claiming a small piece of it as her own, without even particularly trying.
'Cause every night I will save your life. And every night I will be with you.
'Cause every night I still lay awake in my dream of an absolution. We're ruining this. Even if she wanted to push me away, I can't help this feeling. Are you alright, Ren? Get closer to the mic.
I'm not. I think I broke. I painted some really good things. Incredible. But it hurt me. I can't handle this.
Her voice cuts out as there are no more words for her to say. It's not an angry voice, nor a sad one. It's lifeless. I pet her head and shoulders, the physical equivalent of saying, there. It's not like I could reassure her with the sweet nothings that people are supposed to say in this kind of situation. I'm not sure she would even listen or be reassured. She didn't react much to my embrace either, as if she didn't care. Maybe she doesn't. At least she doesn't care if she looks sad or not. These are no facades, no attempts to explain herself, no faux happiness. Ren is honest.
Hisao,
What is it?
you're my friend, right?
Right.
Will you do me a favor? I can't fix this, but I'm not finished yet.
Her dry voice is a mere whisper, but the strength, her last, is in it, delivering her meaning much more clearly than her words. I can feel Ren's heart beating against my chest like a scared little bird. Hold on, what is it? Okay. The confession time, true confession time. That's what the song is leading to. Letting my heart speak. The song that's playing is called "Letting My Heart Speak." I'm guessing this is honest to God confession time.
Oh shit! We're up! Oh my god, we're doing this! Alright, everyone, calm down! Calm the fuck down!
I can feel Ren's heart beating against my chest.
Calm
like a
the
scared
fuck
little
down!
bird.
Okay.
You calm the fuck down! Her entire body is shivering from her fever, from her fear, from her despair. My brain is fast becoming overloaded with the myriad of thoughts this encounter spawned, but I have to push them all aside. I snuggle my nose against her earlobe, which is soft and cold, and her hair, which smells good and tickles me. Alright, I'll do it. I whisper in her ear reassuringly, trying to make her calm down. It works at least halfway, as Rin closes her eyes and leans against me as if searching for comfort from my warmth. But this is not something that friends should do. We can't be friends anymore. Fuck!
Hisao, you dumbass!
Ugh. Read!
We can't be friends anymore?
It's fine. Don't worry about it. Just relax. Even though I said that, I'm on the verge of breaking myself. If I wasn't so nervous, I'd laugh at my own nervousness. She wants to be comforted. I want to comfort her. But in this way, I move my hand lower, touching the naked skin of her stomach, caressing Rin with my hand. Her muscles contract timidly, evading my touch, but soon they find their trust in me and relax. There was one warm place left in her after all, emitting heat that gets even warmer as I move my hand lower. Okay, blocking. Hey, blocking. Okay.
Wait, by ringing bells, you mean you've done this before?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
She said I was gentler than her ex. I think we can cut back.
Alright.
Rin gasps for breath like she's drowning, returning to reality because she has no other choice. Audience, she was just crying. She was crying, as far as you know.
Yeah, we are not getting fucked over here by YouTube.
Her entire body is still in the throes of the slowly dying moment. Pearls of sweat are glistening on her forehead.
I'm slowly dying.
I am feeling my own heat inside of me, but now the spur of the moment is gone, and I don't know what to say to Rin, who is panting, hot and ecstatic in my arms. Her shirt...
Jesus fucking Christ, Hisao. Holy shit, that was so fucking intense. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
My fucking God. Her shirt, wet with sweat, is glued to her back, revealing hints of her shoulder blades and waistline. She feels limp, weak, and exhausted. I reach out for the blanket and wrap it around her and me. Rin doesn't resist me. She's drained of all strength.
What will happen now?
I don't know. Nothing, I suppose. You look tired.
I am tired. I feel strange, like I lost something. I mean, something else than my spiritual purity.
Okay, no, that's... Okay, no, they know. Don't say something like that. Neither of those things I don't want to lose. Neither of those things. I don't want to lose you.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
I mean, that's not even what happened. That's not even what fucking happened.
I'm fucking laughing. I'm cackling like a goddamn fucking hyena over here.
What does that mean? I'm not going anywhere.
I'm afraid that you are, all the time. In that moment, I felt that it was not only Rin who lost something of hers, I felt like I was losing a part of myself. Maybe all of me. But if you were to ask what it was that I lost, I couldn't say. Maybe because I'd already forgotten it. I broke another promise by coming out with my honest feelings to Rin. Just 2 in one day. I hate the distance between you and me, and so every time it gets a little bit closer, I become afraid of losing it.
That's weird.
I guess so.
Do you mind if I sleep a little? Nah, I guess you don't. You like watching, don't you?
She closes her eyes and swallows with a loud gulp, trying to relax herself, fighting against the urge to paint. Yeah. Yes, I guess I do. Rin moves her body in my arms, searching for a comfortable position, a very uncomfortable position. She leans against me, closing her eyes, and lets one last long breath out before settling into the steady rhythm of sleep. With her last moment of awareness, she whispers something to me, but I can't hear it. Rin drifts further into sleep with a deep sigh that releases all remaining tension from her muscles. I try to shift around to place both of us more comfortably. It takes a while because I don't want to wake up. Because I don't want to wake up Ren, even though she probably wouldn't. But eventually I find a position I'm somewhat comfortable with. I lean against the soft cushions of the couch and breathe in the cool air of the atelier. Ren's head rests against my chest as if she were listening to my heartbeats. Echoes of her dream ripple as small twitches on her face. Like a cat sleeping in a mouse hunter's dream. The full moon, shining her pale light upon us from beyond the skylight, reflects from a blank canvas standing forgotten on the easel. Its whiteness is glowing against the dark night of the atelier.
I think that's all the time we have for today, everybody.
That was a bunch of shit. Oh my god.
I'm gonna be dead serious. I think it's funny how Rin made that spiritual purity joke even though she just cried in her arms. Like, how does that ruin marriage? I guess even though she's autistic, she can still be funny.
She was jacking it.
Why did you have to? Okay, no.
We can't keep up the pretense. She was. We helped her finish. That's...
Yeah, but we cut it out, so we're not a bunch of... So at least we don't look like creeps anymore.
Ugh.
Who am I kidding?
Oh, we are. We're playing a fucking anime game. Okay. Next time, something else will happen, I hope. Jesus.
Hopefully we get a
Christ.
Kenji scene.
More Kenji! We need him back! I need something to laugh at. This is too much for me.
Alright.
Alright. See you guys later.
Bye, guys.